Zo. Okie dokie. Hi, welcome. Welcome to another yoga stream. It's Friday again. So sorry I wasn't there yesterday and the day before. My back was way too painful to do any kind of active yoga. So I decided to only do the relax yoga stream, which is easier for the back. We're gonna start in about 4 minutes with a relax yoga stream to end the week, and all you need is your yoga mat and maybe, like I have, a fold-up blanket. You can also use something more like a book or a yoga block if you have one, a cushion, anything that kind of lifts when you sit, okay? So that's basically all you need. Take your time settling in. If you're all ready and settled and sitting already, then please you can always just sit in meditation for a little bit. That's just before we're getting started, okay? So take your time. I'm gonna put this one over here. We'll probably use it later, okay? So we might need it. Take your time finding your position to start, which can be sitting on the floor like me, but it might be you enjoy sitting on the chair more. If you are sitting on a chair and you sit there all day like that, you can always change position. It's nice, you know, to switch between sitting on the floor, sitting cross-legged, sitting on a cushion or a chair, on the couch. It's good for the back, it's good for the legs, for the hips, to sometimes just sit differently. If you sit a lot, if you have a job where you sit behind a computer, for example, you know, make sure you walk every now and then and that you change your surface. One more sip of water. It's so hot today. If you're joining me live, let me know if it's same at your place. Here right now it's 35 to 36 degrees Celsius. If you're watching the video, maybe it's winter right now, so probably not that hot. But today, whew, today it's warm, but it's nice. I like the heat. The summer and feeling. If you're just tuning in, welcome. We're going to start another yoga stream in about 2 minutes. Just make sure you have your yoga mat or any other surface that is soft. You can use a folded blanket or a few towels, but sometimes it's slippery if you have, like if you have a wooden surface, a wooden floor, use something soft, okay? And just make sure that you have something to sit on if you feel like it. Just lift your hips slightly. It can always help with relaxing the legs. Okay, so today we are going to work on the legs. We're going to work on the legs and hip area a lot, which can also help with lower back pain. So it might be good anyway if you feel you don't need any attention there, but it's always good, especially in the heat, to give the legs a little bit extra attention. You know, all the fluids kind of can sink into your legs, so they can feel heavy, they can feel tired when it's hot, and they can do with some love. So make sure you can sit comfortably to start the stream, to start your video. And just make sure you have your upper body free, okay? So even if you sit on a chair, make sure you don't lean into the back of the chair. Just sit up like this. Just make sure you can lift yourself. You can relax your hands on your knees or on your upper legs, in your lap. Anything that is comfortable to you. Try to feel if you can sit up straight, okay? You can close your eyes. That way it's easier to keep the attention towards yourself. The distractions are less. Your eyes are always picking up things of your surroundings, so it can be difficult to concentrate with your eyes open. But by all means, if you feel more comfortable, keep them open. Try to pay some attention to how you're sitting right now, if that's okay, if you need to change your position. It's very important that you can relax. Even though you're actively sitting, if you would relax completely, you would sink to the ground. But it's very important that you don't feel some extra tension in your hips or your lower back. It helps to lift the hips, to sit on something, maybe a block or a book, cushion, blanket, anything. And if it's still there, change position. You can also bring the feet backwards, so on both sides of your block or your book, whatever. That way you don't open the hips. Sometimes that's more easy for some people. Sitting in a cross-legged position is just way too difficult, it's way too hard. The opening of the hips is too hard. So find your way, find your position. You can relax, you can feel your body without tension. And maybe you want to breathe a few times, just side or yawn or wiggle, whatever makes you feel good to start. And try to keep that attention to the breathing. Try to feel how you breathe right now, how you inhale through the nose, the throat, all the way down to the lungs, maybe even to the belly. If you relax your belly, you might feel that the breath comes down a little bit more easy. So keep it natural, don't force anything. Try to relax your belly area, your lungs, your chest, so that you can breathe freely, okay? So there are no holdings, nothing that compromises your breath. If it's difficult for you to keep your attention to your breath, you can count. You can count your inhales. So maybe your inhale is 3 seconds, your out exhale as well. You can keep counting those. See if they are the same length. If they are, you just keep it like that. Maybe your inhalation is longer than your exhalation. And try to lengthen your exhale, okay? Try to make them equally long. If your exhalation is longer than your inhalation, you can just keep it that way. That's perfect. But again, don't try to force it, just try to adjust a little bit so you practice, okay? So you feel that you are changing your breath a little bit. Try to keep it as soft and as natural as possible. Try to keep your body as relaxed as possible. And just keep the breathing going, in and out. Especially with hot weather, it's important that your breathing can relax, because the heat can cause your breath to become faster. And that way the body warms up even more. So try to keep it calm. Try to keep the breath calm. The way your body can relax, you don't have to become more hot than it is right now. So we're slowly going to move a little bit. If you want to, you can just bring your head from side to side, just let your ear fall onto your shoulder basically. If you feel like sitting still a little bit longer, just do that, okay? You're always free to make it your own, as they say. So if you're very tired, very hot, just wanna, lay down, just do that, okay? Lay down in Shavasana. Maybe you want to listen or watch the stream or the video and you don't want to engage, that's fine. Don't make this a struggle. Don't make it another thing on your to-do list. Try to see it as play. If you want to play along, you play along, otherwise you're just going to rest. You can roll your head from side to side, just bring your chin to your chest and then your ear towards your shoulder. Try to do all this with a straight back and just by relaxing the head. So you don't push it down, you just let it hang. You can decide your own pace. Just roll it up and down as fast as you like. And you can bring the nose from side to side. just from left to right. In the meantime, try to keep the breathing soft again. Anytime you feel you bring tension towards your belly or your chest, actively relax it. So you actively let go of the tension. And you can only do that by becoming aware of the tension there is. If you want to make circles with your head, go ahead. Go ahead with your head. Just make some circles with your nose. You can make them right up into the air. Both sides, don't get dizzy. Especially with this weather, you know, dizziness can occur very easily. Always keep the movement slow and soft. If you feel dizziness is coming up, you just bring your feet on the ground, right? You go sit like this. If you feel dizzy at any time, just stop. Okay, so very important. Okay, you can bring your feet together. Again, sit on something if you like. You can hold your feet and you can just wiggle the knees. But sometimes this is, you know, you feel too much pressure on the lower back or on the upper back. Hold your ankles, you get a little bit more space. Or you bring your hands to the back and you just lean on them and then you wiggle. It's easier to keep the back long and relaxed. It's very important that you don't pull on your shoulders or your neck in this position. This is just about the hips and about the legs. We're going to open them today, we're going to wiggle them, we're going to release them. Whole relaxation thing. Very important to don't overdo it, okay? So feel your boundaries, respect them, and try to keep it within that comfort zone a little bit. You can always just, you know, take a toe out of the comfort zone, but not the whole foot. Otherwise, it's gonna hurt later. A few more wiggles. If you're done already, just quit. Okay. Okay. We're gonna stretch out the left leg. You stretch out the left leg. You can bring the right foot in a little bit more if you want to. Just make sure you can sit up comfortably like this. And you don't fall to one side, okay? So lengthen the back again, so you straighten up. And then you bring your left hand on the inside of your left leg, with the back of the hand on the inside, okay? The right hand goes all the way up, so you stretch yourself all the way out, keep length, and with that length you go towards the left. You can let the hand slide along your leg. You can stretch out all the way to the left as far as you like. Be mindful of your lower back, okay? So don't go too far. Make sure you can use your belly muscles, so the lower back can relax in this way. So you stretch the right side like this. Try to keep both feet active, so you don't let your feet fall down. And there's always a difference between keeping it active and overactive, basically. If you keep it active, you keep it up. It doesn't fall forward, you know, in or out. If you put tension on it, you kind of pull your toes towards you. That's not what you want. So try to find a balance and just enough strength to keep the leg up, the feet up, sorry. One more breath here. And when you breathe in, come back up, use your muscles. And when you breathe out, you slowly release the hands. We're going to change sides. Right leg out, left leg in. Again, right hand on the inside of the right leg. When you breathe in, bring the left hand all the way up. Stretch up again. Make sure you keep that length. So you don't lean towards the right. You open up diagonally, upwards and towards the right. So you don't sink. You kind of keep that stretch. You keep that length. You can use your right hand to put a little bit of pressure on the inside of the right leg. That way you can open up more. You can feel that you can lift your chest more towards the ceiling. If you want, you can always watch up. So you can open up the chest. Keep the breathing easy. Okay, so if you feel you can lower a little bit more, you can always make the posture a little bit deeper. But keep the breathing soft, okay? In and out, through the nose. If you want to breathe out through the mouth, make it a soft, controlled breath. So you can make an S or an F sound. That way you can breathe in and out slowly. You keep the body relaxed, even though the pose might be uncomfortable. When you breathe in, activate your muscles, come back up. Then when you breathe out, slowly lower the head. Okay. And then you can bring both legs out in front of you. And we're just gonna, you can make little balls of your hands. And you can start with the hip, the outer side of the leg, outside of the leg. And just tap it all the way towards the feet, inside of the leg, all the way to the groin, upper part, under part. You just kind of tap it softly, don't do it too hard. Make sure you include the hip area, thighs. And then you can pressure right like this, okay? I forgot the English word for it. You stroke the leg, okay? Both sides, inside and outside, just stroke it, very good. Okay, other leg. Start with the tapping, little balls of the hands, outside of the leg, inside again. Upper side, lower side, every part. Just tap it a little bit to activate the blood flow. And then stroke it again. Actively, strong, so don't, just keep it active strokes all the way up and down. Okay, and then you can bring your hands behind you, stretch out the legs, and you can just roll them from side to side. Just wiggle them. Deep breaths. If you feel the need to yawn or to sigh, just always do so. It's just a way for the body to relax even deeper, to let go of the tension. Okay, you ready? Going into the next pose. If you want, again, you can use something to sit on. I always like to do that with this pose because my hips cannot tilt very well that way. Make sure you stretch the legs out towards the sides, and you just tilt the hips forward. So you kind of lean into this pose already. Keep the feet active. You don't have to tense them, but keep them active. You can bring the legs as wide as you can, or as wide as you want. There's a difference. If you bring them as wide as you can, the stretch can be very intense. If you bring them as wide as you want, you can make it a relaxed pose, okay? So for me, this is as wide as I want. I might go further, but then I feel a very intense stretch on the inside of my legs. I like to keep it soft today. Bring your hands towards the floor, maybe your fingertips, and you can just stay like this. If you have some more room, you can come forward a little bit, maybe further, sorry. If you're very flexible in the hips, come all the way forward, no problem. Make sure it doesn't hurt. That's the only thing that is important to remember here. Just keep it soft. And just keep breathing. You can sit up straight. If you want to, you can also just relax downwards, okay? You can just hang in the pose. It's perfectly fine. Okay, whatever is comfortable to you. Just make sure that you feel that you can breathe again. No pain. Just relaxation. We're just here to enjoy ourselves, right? Okay. Also, if you want, you can just move a little bit in this pose. Okay, so you can kind of rock from side to side. If you feel you need some movement, slowly rock from side to side. And I always feel that if I move a little bit, it's like I slowly sink into this pose. I feel my body letting go. And it becomes easier for me to kind of surrender into this pose. Make sure you keep the legs relaxed, okay? So the feet are up, and that's cool. But if you tense too much, you feel tension in your knees or in your upper legs, and you withhold yourself from surrendering to a pose. So make sure you relax the legs as much as possible without your feet falling in or outside. And that way you can just kind of roll into it. And don't pull, okay? My hands are very relaxed on the ground. I don't pull myself forward. I just let myself hang into a pose. Very important with relax yoga that you let your body guide you. And you can trust your body in letting you know when you go too far, okay? All you have to do is listen to it. So listen to your body, feel what happens. React to it if you have to, always react to pain. Keep the belly relaxed, keep breathing. Always a good measurement. If your breathing is still fine, your body probably is fine too. And you'll get to know yourself better and better every time. You'll get to know how your body reacts to certain poses, certain ways of movement, and how to interact with yourself. Okay, we're going to stay in this pose a few more breaths. If you feel you can lower yourself even further, you can always do so. Find your own range of motions, of emotions as well. Yes, emotions can always come up during yoga. Because you move your body in a way you're not used to, that can stir up emotions, because they're kind of hold in the body. And when you move the body, you move your emotions. And they can just reveal themselves anytime they want. Yeah, that's cool. Just let them out, whatever comes up. Slowly kind of come back, take your time, roll yourself back up, and bring in the knees and the feet carefully. So you can help your knees, you can bend them first, put your feet on the ground, and slowly walk your feet towards the middle. Relax here for a moment, okay? Just sit up, let your hands rest. Take a breath. Very good, very good. Okie dokie. You keep your feet like this, standing on the mat, and then the right foot can go under the left leg. Okay, this is the first part basically of the pose. You can keep it like this. If you feel perfect sitting like this, keep it. The other step in this pose basically is to bring the left foot over the right knee. So you have your legs crossed. Third part, if you want, is to put the knees on top of each other. And then your feet go outwards a little bit, careful of the knees, so you don't sit on your foot, okay? Both feet are outwards. That's it. You can just relax your hands on your knees. You can hold your toes. So you kind of make a circle with your body. You can, this pose like this can energetically be very strong because you make the circle complete in your body. So your energy goes around. It doesn't leave through your fingers, through your feet. It kind of comes back into its own body. So it can help really to hold your toes, to hold the big toe. If you feel you want another stretch, or you want more stretch in this part, in this posture, put your hand on the ground in front of you and then slowly roll yourself forward over your knees. So you make a very deep stretch in the hips and in the glutes, sometimes in the legs as well, or in the lower back. You can choose to do this, okay? So maybe you want to just come forward a tiny little bit. So you just want to lean into it a little bit, and then you already feel the difference. You feel the difference in your hips. Make sure both hips, both glutes, both buttocks are on the floor, okay? So you only move forward with your upper body, hips stay low, and then you can find how far you want to relax, okay? Just play. You can always play in the pose. You can find what suits you, what is good. For me right now, this is very good for the lower back. Very nice for the lower back. To stretch, because you know, every muscle, all tendons and ligaments, it's all connected. So if you stretch the glutes and your buttocks, you also stretch the lower back, because those muscles are all attached to each other. So they all influence each other. If your glute muscles become very flexible and very long, your lower back will become more flexible, because it has more space to move now. So it's all connected. It's all connected. Keep breathing. few more seconds here. Slowly come up if you're down. Otherwise, you can just bring your hands backwards. So sitting on this blankie, I'm gonna put it right here. Bring the hands backwards so you have some room to, untie your legs. Bring them in front of you so you can relax them for a few seconds. If you want, you can just wiggle them. That's the good part of yoga, right? There are no rules, there are no goals, there's nothing you need to improve about yourself. You can just play with your body and see what happens. See what it does, how does it feel? Okay, we're going for the other side. So we're going to bring the left leg, left foot under the right one. Just bring your knee a little bit to the middle. If you want, your other foot over it, so cross-legged. If you have even more space, you just bring both knees on top of each other and your feet are touching the ground with the outside of the feet, okay? So, big toes up. And again, if you want to hold your toes, you want to bring your hands in front of you, let them just rest on the knees. Whatever feels most comfortable to you. And this can be a very intense posture to sit in, okay? A very intense asana. So be very mindful of every movement you make. And if you want to challenge yourself, that's fine. Sometimes it's very nice in a pose when you feel like, oh, I'm actually feeling good today. I could try if I can make it a bit deeper or a bit more difficult. It's always a good idea, unless you feel you are crossing a line in your body or in your mind. So you want to keep it not always comfortable, but nice. Uncomfortability can be nice. It can mean growth. Okay, so that's good. And it's your body, so it's your experiment and your experience. Just see what you need. See what feels good. If you want to, maybe sometimes after a little bit you feel the tension releasing. For me, after a few breaths, I feel the tension releasing in my buttocks, in my hip. And then I feel like, okay, now I can come forward a little bit. Now I can deepen the stretch. In the beginning, that's not very nice, and I way overdo it. But after a little bit, it's like, okay. My body remembers, it remembers what it's supposed to do in this pose, and that it can actually let go, and that I'm not going to push it, because you build up muscle memory. Okay, so that's very important to remember. If you do poses for the first time, for the first few times, and you put pressure on the body, your muscles will tense up because they want to protect your joints. But they also remember what they're supposed to do. So if you go into the pose again, your body already knows, oh, this is going to hurt, that's right. And then your muscles will tense up before you're even fully in the pose. And then you'll never get the space you want. You never get the relaxation or the flexibility you might want. So it's always better to make a pose easier if it's difficult than making it even harder. Always make sure you have some room in your body. And the breath is good measurement. If you can still sigh, relax, feel like you can kind of, sink into it, it's perfect. And again, with Hatha Yoga, different ways of going, different ways of doing it, but for relax yoga, very important. A few more breaths here. You're always free to come out, right? So if you feel this is enough, I don't want to keep it that long, just come out of the pose, find a relaxing position to sit in until you go to the next one. Slowly come back up. So you kind of roll yourself up if you're down. Hands backwards. And again, bring your feet out in front of you. Slowly stretch them out. So give your body some time to get out of the pose as well. You might feel that you have some feelings in the body after a pose. And it's important to recognize those. So always take a minute, or not even a minute, but a few seconds, a few breaths. You feel like, okay, this is what happened in the hips, happening in the legs. What do I need? Do I want to wiggle my legs, or I just want to sit still? Do I need something completely different? It's all good. Anything you like, okay? You can come up a little bit. You come up on your toes. I'm going to sit like this. And then you can slowly bring your hands onto your knees. You can stretch out the back, okay? So you try to sit up straight. Try to sit up straight. Don't push the knees, just relax the hands. You might feel your toes, that's okay. See how much pressure you need. So if you're holding tension in your toes, your feet, or if you're just using the strength to keep the posture steady. See where you can let go, try to find your balance. Keep on breathing, so relax the belly. Sometimes for me, that's the first thing I forget. When I concentrate on a pose, the first thing I do is I hold my breath or I clench my belly. So it's something to remember. You'll find more things, okay? You'll find what you do when you're concentrating. Maybe your face is all contorted in, concentration. Try to relax your face. Try to make it soft, the frown between your eyes. Try to smile, that always helps to relax your face. It lightens up the mood inside you as well. Slowly bring the hands back to the ground, knees back to the ground. If you want, you can stretch the toes like this, so you can sit with the knees on the ground. It's a very deep stretch. So if you want to keep it a little bit lighter, bring your hands back on the ground. The further you lean forward, the less tension there is on the toes and on the foot. If you want to make it a full stretch, you sit up, you let your body rest on your feet. You can release the feet, and if you want, you can just tap them. Okay, so you basically tap them on the floor, stimulate blood flow again. Once you're done, we're going to do it the other way around. So stretch your feet out, and some people cannot do this because of their ankles or their feet. See if you can do it, otherwise just skip this one. You can bring the knees up and keep the weight on the feet. You can keep, if you want, you can keep your hands backwards on the floor, so you keep your balance. You can, if you want to, you can try to balance on your feet, but for some people it's not possible. So see if you can do it. Okay. You can bring the weight back if you want to keep even more, to get more stretch. Well, actually, you're stretching the ankles and the upper part of your foot. Again, slowly bring the knees back to the floor. Hands back to the floor, and again you can tap them. So you bring the blood flow back. Blood flow back. Blood flow back. Okay, maybe you want to circle the ankles a little bit. Shake your feet. It's very important to release the tension, release the stress you're putting on your body in certain positions, because you can, if you sit like this, you put stress on your toes, which is fine because they can use the stretch, but try to let it go as well. So teach your body that when you put stress on it or pressure, it can let go. It doesn't have to hold everything. Slowly come onto your back. This here a little bit. There we go. Okay. Once you're on your back, you can bring your knees towards you. And we can make circles. Something we do almost every relax yoga class, I think, because it's so good for the lower back. It's so good to just lay on the ground, make those circles. If you have back pain, you can do this every day or even a few times a day. Just circles. Okie dokie. And we slowly are going to bring the legs up. You can bring them up like this, just bend them slightly, just keep them up relaxed. If you want some more help, get your blanket, bring it under your hips. So you have a little help, it's easier to keep the legs up. You can also just lean them against the wall, okay? If you have a wall close to you, just turn your mat, relax your feet or your legs onto the wall. If you want to, you can hold them, bring it like this, but try to keep it soft. Relax your shoulders. And slowly keep on breathing. If you want to keep moving, if you want to rock your legs a little bit from side to side, that's perfect. Whatever feels good. Again, it's your party. You decide. You feel. Whatever is good. Because the legs are always, they're always the other way around. And especially in warm weather, your legs and your feet are, they're suffering a little bit. Because the heat makes the fluid kind of comes down, the legs become heavy, they become very tired. And bringing them up every day, you can do this for like 15 minutes every day before you go to sleep, for example, or during lunch. It helps. It helps the circulation to go the other way around as well. So not all the pressure is on your feet, your ankles, or your legs. You're breathing softly. It helps if you don't have to use your belly muscles. If you have to use your belly muscles in this exercise a lot to keep the legs up, let them rest on the wall or on the chair. So you bend them and you just lay them on the chair like this. But it's even better if the feet are higher than the knees, okay? So you keep them really up. And just keep breathing. It's a very soft exercise, especially if you lean against the wall and fully relax into it. So we're going to keep it up today for a little bit longer. And you can slowly bend the knees again. If you have the blanket under your hips, just take it off, put it away for now. And you can stay in this position for a bit. So both knees towards your chest. Try to relax the hips and the legs, feet. Just hold like this. And slowly breathing in and out. A few more breaths. And you can bring the feet back to the ground. If you have your feet hip distance apart, it's fine. In the next exercise, if the feet fall outwards, just if the knees fall outwards, you can bring the feet a little bit further apart. So the knees go straight up, no matter how far the feet are, how wide the feet are. And keep your hands on the mat, just keep them steady. And then you pull in your navel, so your whole lower back is onto the floor. There's no room between your lower back and the floor anymore. And when you breathe out, you push your hips up. Okay, you don't have to go too far. Just bring them up. Activate the hips, activate the legs, belly muscles. And this posture can become very heavy if you don't include the whole body. So pay attention to your feet. Place them firmly on the mat. Activate your feet, your ankles, your shins, your calves, your knees, the whole lower body, the legs, the hips, and then the upper body. So activate the glutes, the lower back, the belly, the chest. Press your hands slightly onto the mat. Push your hands slightly on the mat so they help as well. Your shoulders actively on the mat. The only thing relaxed here is your neck and your head. The rest of the body is engaged. Breathe in and out. Feel how you're doing. You don't have to go too far. You don't have to make it into a bow. Just a line from the knees to the shoulders is enough. A few more breaths here. You're doing great. Just keep it up. Keep it up a little bit longer. And when you breathe out, relax. Relax onto the mat. Relax the back, the belly. And then you can wiggle the knees from side to side. Bring the hands a little bit more outwards so they're not in the way. And slowly wiggle. So release the tension. Again, make sure you don't hold the tension from this exercise into the next one, which is going to be Shavasana. So yeah, you want to relax there. Okay, maybe there are other movements. Maybe you want to pull your knees in again. Maybe there's a whole other asana or whole other movement you want to make before going into Shavasana. So take your time. If you want to hold your knees for a little bit, it's fine. Any other pose, any other movement, just feel free to do that. And then once you're ready, we're going into Shavasana. We're going into our final relaxation of this class, which is always a little party. Bring the legs out. If the lower back is hurtful, lying down like this, place something under the knees, okay? So the knees are up and bended. That way your lower back can relax. If you want to use a cushion on your head, you can do so. You can bring the feet outwards a little bit so they fall outwards and relax. You can bring the hands outward as well. You can place them on the belly. We know by now Shavasana has no rules. The only thing here is to feel that you can let go. Any tension, any strength, any balance, any ideas of how a pose might look or should look, you can let it go. Here you can let go of everything there is right now. Only the awareness, the consciousness is what stays. Being mindful of your body, being mindful of your breath, being mindful of the thoughts you are. Letting go, that's all there is. And keep on breathing. You don't have to change your breath right now, okay? You don't have to practice anything. Just your own natural breathing pattern. And any thought that comes up, let it be there, but don't engage. And if you do, you just bring yourself back again to this moment, to relaxation. And then you can feel that your body becomes a little bit more heavy every time you breathe out. Every time you breathe out, your body can basically sink into the floor. There's nothing you have to hold. There's nothing you have to change or do right now. The only thing left is awareness of the relaxation you're in. Finding stillness in your body, in your mind, without falling asleep. Your consciousness is there. You feel the surface, the floor beneath you, carrying you, holding you. And you can sink into that floor. Just take a few more breaths here. Easy, soft, slow. And gently you can start moving again. You can deepen your breath a little bit to wake your body, as it were, to make it active again. Wiggle your toes or your fingers. You can roll your wrists or your ankles. Move your head from side to side. Maybe you feel like pulling up your knees again towards your chest. Rocking a little bit from side to side. Anything that works for you to slowly activate yourself again. And once you're ready, roll to your side, preferably your right side. And from there, slowly pull or push yourself back up. So careful, don't go too fast. Take your time until you're sitting up straight again. And once you find your position, sitting down, you can close your eyes for 1 minute. If you want to go into meditation right now, just stop the stream or the video and go into your meditation. Otherwise, just take a minute to go inwards with your attention. Try to feel what you can notice, what's happening in your body right now. Maybe there is a tinkling or prickling sensation. Maybe you're hot or cold, soft. Maybe there are things, part of your body that ask for attention. Maybe your thoughts are different, feelings, emotions, whatever comes up. All you have to do is notice it, be aware. You don't have to do anything, you don't have to change anything about what comes up. Because there's nothing you need to do, because there's nothing you have to improve, you have the feeling of freedom to let in, to let everything in that comes by. It's not up to you to change it, just to be aware. There's no good or bad, so don't judge whatever comes. And you can bring your hands together in front of your heart. And you can be proud of yourself. You can hug yourself, give yourself a smile or a kiss on the inside. Because you did it. You showed up. You showed up for yourself. For paying attention to your body, your mind, and your soul. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today on this yoga of relaxation for hips and legs. I hope if you're watching live, that you're having a great weekend. If there's anything you'd like to share with me, any comments, feedback, anything, experience you want to share. If you want to ask questions, just do it in the comments or in the chat and I'll always answer them. Otherwise, I hope you're having a great weekend, as I said, and we're having a next stream on Tuesday at 5 again. Okay, see you then. I'm just gonna come a little closer. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. I'll see you next time. Bye.